This has started early. What's up, everyone? I got too excited. I hit go live before 8:30 my time, which is when this was supposed to start. How is everybody? I apologize if you saw two waiting rooms. Um, I somehow accidentally scheduled like two live streams. I don't even know how YouTube allowed that to happen. So there was two separate links. I've now made it into one, just this one. So for all the people who were like in another link, they're probably gonna come over to this one. I don't know what happened. What's up, Willie? What's up, LA Lou? Appreciate you guys for being here. I as I've said kind of on Twitter, and what's up, FA1CO? As I've said kind of on Twitter, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I, I'm wearing a hoodie that says unwell. Kind of in jest. I'm okay though. I'm happy to be here. Um, what's up, guys? The can says Houston Super Bowl bound in 2024. You know what? They certainly are making the moves to go far in 2024. I'll say that. What's up, Battletune? Battletune wants to see the Rams draft Rome Adunes and Latu out of UCLA. I don't know if you've seen yet. So for those of you who haven't seen, I'll repeat this a couple times as more people filter in. But Jake and I, on the episode of Downtown Rams that dropped last night, it ended up dropping in like the middle of the night because YouTube was taking forever to drop it. So you might not have seen it yet. But basically, on the episode of Downtown Rams that we just did, we did a mock draft where we used PFF's simulator. So we couldn't control, I mean, we can make trades and such, but we use a draft simulator, and Jake and I curated a mock draft. So if you haven't seen that yet and you're interested in Jake and I's mock draft, go check out the latest episode of Downtown Rams. And you can see how that went. But we're going to do it a couple more times, and we're going to try to make each draft we do different just based on how the simulator shakes out. And we're going to try to go each way we think the Rams could go. So this is just one variation of a Rams mock that we did. So what's up, guys? More people filtering in. Rakeem, I don't know who the Arizona girl is. I hope you're not referring to me. I'm not from Arizona. What's up, Edwin? What's up, Wildman Samurai? I hope we draft Audric Estime too. I really do. What's up, SoCal Ram 88? He said, what are you going to snack on draft day? You know, I've thought about this a lot. So everybody who watches our draft stream knows that I order a pizza on day 3 of the draft. Oh, Arizona iced tea. You're right, Rakeem. I don't have any Arizona iced tea on me. I finished it. Sadly. But anyways, I do the pizza on day 3 of the NFL draft, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do night 1 and 2. I'll have to think about it. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. Maybe I'll have to do some Arizona iced tea or sweet tea. I think I did Olipop last year. I haven't had Olipop in a really long time, so maybe the draft stream will be a good opportunity for me to bring that back. Let's see what you guys are saying. Edwin said, I swear Jake got me thinking today when he made that video about drafting Harrison Jr., but no, we don't need a receiver in the first round. Let's get Rice from UFC in the 5th and turn him into a star. I have not watched Jake's video yet about getting Marvin Harrison, trading up for him. I will say I think that's a very unlikely scenario. I think Jake would say the same thing. Again, I haven't seen, I think he was just throwing out a hypothetical, but I don't foresee the Rams trading into the top 5 for Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think that's going to happen. SoCal said, I thought you were getting a tackle or Murphy the second and chop. Yeah, I went a little bit of a different direction. Spoiler, in the Downtown Rams mock draft that Jake and I did, I took Jared Verse with the first pick because of the way that draft shook out and him still being there. I traded up to 14 to take Jared Verse over Latu, which I know it pained me to do, but we were going by our boards, and I have Jared Verse higher. on my board, so I took him in the first. Alex, I'm not getting a different pizza. Okay, I can't break tradition. This will be the fifth year of me ordering my pineapple pizza. SoCal said I should get wings and fries. That does sound very good. Josh, I know that first pick. I knew as soon as I made that pick, I even said on the podcast, I was like, I'm going to anger so many people taking Jared Verse over Latu. I knew that I was doing that, but I had to stay true to myself, guys. That's what I would do in that situation if I was a GM. LA Lou said, I prefer NFL mock draft database simulator to PFF. It's not as head scratching as long as your pick is B or better, it's a good pick. So I actually prefer NFL mock draft database as well. Jake really likes PFF, so we use PFF, and he has the like full version where you could do trades and do all 7 rounds and stuff. So since he was the one controlling the simulator, I was like, we'll just do the one that he wants. But I really like NFL mock draft database too, although some of the grading they have is vastly different than mine, like prospect grading. So that's I like how you can go 7 rounds for free and how it says each position, it gives you like basically every position ranked by need. It doesn't just give you the top 3. So if you're doing a full mock draft and you get to the 5th, 6th, 7th round, you don't have to think off the top of your head, like, what does this team need? You can kind of look at what hasn't been taken yet. Josh, trading up for Joe Alt, I would agree with yes. I don't think that's going to happen. FA1CO said, I also have Verse higher on my board over Latu just because of Latu's medical board. Exactly. The injury concerns are very real there. Willie said, steak and ground beef goes better on pizza. I can't say that I've ever had pizza with steak or ground beef on it. I'm not saying it's not good. It's kind of like a Philly cheesesteak pizza, kind of, if I'm thinking correctly. Edwin said, how disappointing would it be if we all were waiting to see the Rams pick at 19 and they announced they're trading back into the 30s? I've been saying I feel like that's what's gonna happen, and I feel like they're not gonna tell us until pick 18. Like, we're gonna be so excited, like they're about to make the pick, and then they're gonna trade it. That's kind of how I feel like it's gonna shake out, just knowing me and how often I get my hopes up for things that end up leaving me disappointed. Elpris Cat said 2026 2027 season, best case scenario for quarterback and worst case scenario, starting quarterback for the Rams. I haven't thought that far, if I'm being honest. I do know a lot of people were really convinced that the Rams were going to draft Archie Manning when he came out of Texas. But I feel like he's kind of like, I don't know that the hype around him is there so much anymore. So I really can't pretend like I know who the best prospects are gonna be in 2026 or 2027. I honestly haven't looked into it, but I remember so many people are like, the Rams' master plan is to draft Archie Manning when Matthew Stafford retires. So we'll see if that's still the case. I think Archie still has to have a college career for us to judge. Alex, I know, I'm sorry. I knew that the first pick was gonna, sting people. Mike, is saying paired Verse with Chop like Jake did would be a dream scenario. So spoiler alert, in the mock draft on Downtown Rams, Jake and I alternated making picks. So, like, I made our first pick, he made the second, so we could kind of, have this, like, 50-50 mock draft. And for Jake's second pick, he traded into the first round to take Chop Robinson. So we had 2 first-round picks. I took Jared Verse at 14. Jake traded in the first and took Chop Robinson at 28, which we had a bit of a disagreement. Not like a disagreement, but I was like, "That's a little bit out there," but it makes sense. Um, so I feel like that was a controversial pick for people in the comments. Mike, I like pineapple on pizza. I do. I love pineapple on pizza. Josh said, Les will throw a curveball. Let's be honest. I wouldn't shock me going top 5 for Alt if they really wanted him. I do know that people within the Rams organization have ties to Joe Alt. I don't know. Again, I don't know if the Rams would trade up that far for him. I think that they should, but I just don't think that they will. So that's why I didn't do it in the mock. Um, SoCal asked, "Who's someone you want to see for sure on the draft go to the Rams? For me, it's Dominic Puny. He can play any spot in the line. I really like Puny. Fun fact, he's from St. Louis. If you got any St. Louis Rams fans in the chat, Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin is another really versatile offensive lineman. We've interviewed him on Downtown Rams. I would love for the Rams to draft him because he can play anywhere on the offensive line, but I think he's really interesting at the center position, backing up Avila. Who else? I like Brendan Rice out of USC. I think that'd be really fun to draft Jerry Rice's son to the Rams. I just love that idea. And I really like him as a prospect, and I think that he can develop into a really good receiver. I'd have to think of some other people, but those are 2 that come to mind. Edwin says, "I'm calling it right now. Cup is going to have a 1,200-yard season, and Williams is going to rush over 1,000 yards plus 80, making a return for the playoffs." The first 2, I could see happening. The third, I sadly don't think that 80 is coming back. I know that that's soul crushing to hear. I hate saying it, but it's just how I feel. LA Lou said, "I'm firm on not wanting an offensive lineman in the early rounds. We could use our first 3 picks on defense, defensive tackle, edge, or inside linebacker and have it help our team sooner." Yeah, I can. It depends for me. If I'm taking a left tackle, I'm doing it in the first round. After that, I'm not taking any offensive linemen probably to the 4th and below. Most of the mocks I find myself doing lately, I have the Rams taking defense the first 3 rounds. Just personally, that's just the way that I find it shaking out for me. Alex said, "I'm surprised you aren't pounding the table for Joe Alt coming from Notre Dame." I do love Joe Alt. Listen, I would love him on the Rams. I think that he's a generational left tackle prospect, as most people do. I just don't think that the Rams are gonna trade up. I think you're gonna have to trade up to the top 10 to get him. I think you're probably gonna have to trade to the top 7 to get him. And I just don't foresee the Rams doing that. So I'm not convincing myself of something that isn't gonna happen. Um, I would rather be pleasantly surprised than hope for it and it doesn't happen because I think he's probably gonna go to the Titans. Maybe the Giants, although the Giants' offensive line situation's weird because they have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, who I think they're probably gonna give another shot. So I don't know. I think I'm behind in the chat. Sorry, guys. Josh said, "Alexis, is this the best offensive line draft ever?" It's up there. There's definitely a lot of depth. I would say that. Um, Zach said, "Now we need to get younger at tackle and not be upset if they drafted one early." I mean, yeah, in the first round, a really intriguing guy to look out for, guys, at 19, assuming we don't trade up, is Amarius Mims because I could see him being there at 19. Maybe Troy Fatanu, out of Washington, but I think he's like rising up boards, if I'm not mistaken. So he might not be there at 19. So look at Amarius Mims. What's up, Manuel? The can said Byron Murphy would be a lot like Michael Brockers, but with more upside, in my opinion. Ugh, nostalgic for Michael Brockers. Miss him. Does anybody know? Is he still playing? Or has he formally retired, informally retired? Someone in the chat. Let me know. Joe said the Rams only drafted 1 defensive player in the first 2 rounds since moving to LA. That's a wrap. Interesting. That is a very interesting statement, actually. Huh. Yeah, I think this is the year we might change that. I think we need to. Mike said, "I'm sick of McVay trading away our draft picks." If we trade out of the first round, I'm gonna be crushed. I'm not even saying I would hate it. But, like, I kinda would hate it. I would hate it personally because I'm just so excited for us to finally have a first round pick that I just feel like I'm getting so excited about something that knowing the Rams, they could very easily snatch away from me. Um, People are saying they think Michael Brockers is retired. Media's all over Mims. Yeah, I mean, he could go higher than 19. I just think the way when I keep doing mocks, I just find that he's usually there at 19, but I could see, like, the Dolphins taking him, if not the Rams, maybe the Cowboys. Um, I'd have to look at a draft order again. Alex said, "We need you to speak alt to the Rams into existence like you did with Kyron. You did it once, you can do it one more time. Fighting Irish gods, please help the Rams trade to Joe Alt. Help him fall to like 8 or 9 or 10 and help the Rams to be able to draft trade up to draft him, but not have to give up too much. That would be the goal. But yeah, I mean, like I've said, you put a guy like Alt, Fashanu, Fuaga, Mims, Fatanu on like starting left tackle for the Rams with our current offensive line. That's a top 5 offensive line, if not top 3 in the league. I really believe that. I'm hard pressed to find an offensive line that would be better on paper than that one. So, but Brockers last played in 2022, so he's probably, like, informally retired then. Because I feel like we woulda heard about it if he had done, like, a retirement announcement, and I don't remember ever hearing about that, but those were the days, man. Him and AD, interior defensive line, that was really fun to watch.